fire. We have a disturbance in the force. There's this fella named Charlie, and he's met this young, powerful walker named Breuer, and together they plan on taking over for the sake of goodness. Oh, humble, just send him money and vanity, and we shall destroy his soul and heart instantly. Dun, 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 dun.
Jim Brewer.
Jim Brewer.
Jim Brewer.
Jim Brewer.
Jim Brewer.
Hey, this is Jim Brewer.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good, man. How you doing, dude?
I'm good. You did an clearly you got the bug to be creative, because I'm getting all these comments about last week's podcast with that guy from Through the Earth, and I didn't know you started adding for people that don't know. I record the show. Maybe I should be more hands-on, but I'm a true believer. Let everyone do their thing. And Mike just takes his thing and he goes with it. So I started seeing all these little tiny things you were adding. Like when you put the sunglasses on him, where he's like, I drive a forklift, and you did the shing. There was these you did all these cool little things, which I'm super stoked about, because that so I just want to thank you. I think it's pretty awesome. And the other thing is, I'm watching myself. Do I always look this just destroyed? My face, like I got huge bags under my eyes. I think I need better. I don't know if I need better. I don't know how to get rid of this face. This face is bad. I'm concerned. The bags under these eyes. I slept good. I mean, look at that. Look at that right there. Look at the size. Look at the size of those bags. It looks horrible.
Looks like you're about to go on a trip.
And that's why, if you notice, when I do this podcast, a lot I go from here. The reason I'm doing that is just I'm self-conscious about my face. Do I look like that when I do meet and greets? Do I look this? Listen, I know a lot of my act is not a lot of my act, but in the beginning it was all about how I look and how I look high all the time. And now I know why people judge me all the time in person. I used to when I would meet people, I couldn't understand why they would look at me so funny or what was going on. And then I realized, oh my God, they think I'm toasted. My wife would remind me, like, Jim, you look toasted. She goes, I know you're not, but you look toasted. And I just it's a friendly reminder. And I forgot about it for a very long time. I'm not going to lie to you, until I started watching this podcast. And I've got all these nice colors and bright and all this, but my bags and my eyelids are still, wow. I could see someone just tuning into the podcast going, I'm not going to listen to this guy. This guy's toasted. What is it? How does he speak without slurring words?
Well, there is that too.
Oh my goodness. Dude, again with my nipples. Why?
Hey, you're just excited to be here, man.
I am excited to be here. So I have a lot of ideas for this show too, that I'm going to start building a whole, I won't say a case, but a lot of questions that I have that I've seen on the internet. I also want to reach out to Margot and see if we can get Bill Maher. Bill Maher, I watch him do his rounds, and I watched him do. I think he truly may believe in a lot of things he says, but he makes a lot of generalizations that it drives me. I'd love to have Bill Maher. I'd love to have a conversation with Bill Maher. And if we don't have a conversation with Bill Maher, that's fine. Then I'll have my own conversation. But one thing that maybe I should. Let me know when these guys are when I see that they're coming. So we won't use this part. I don't want to talk about Bill Maher. I'll just say I would like to get Bill Maher on the show. I think we'd have a great conversation. I don't know if he's willing to do it, and that's fine. But I have some serious questions for Bill Maher. People forget that Bill Maher was the one who said, and it doesn't matter who was president, he makes these generalizations about people like, Trump's of this and Trump's of that, and that's fine. But he's narcissistic. But this is the same human being that said, and I quote, "We need to crash the economy in order to remove this man." And when you say something like that, you want to talk about not thinking about people losing their jobs, people not being able to afford to put things on the table. It's real easy for people like Bill Maher to say, we need to crash the economy. Well, of course, it's easy for you, Bill. You're a multi-millionaire. Don't pretend you're not. You've been on television for how many years? I know how much those salaries are. And for anyone in that world, I love when people with a lot of money say, we need to do this. They are so out of touch with human reality. Everyone who they roll with is in their club that drive the same fancy cars and have gates and security. I'd love to have a conversation with Bill Maher and see if he's open for it. But he seems to forget he said some certain things that perhaps he needs to be checked with before he goes out spreading and pointing fingers at who's the bad guy. I'm not saying Bill Maher's a bad guy, but if you're going to say things, you're going to have to defend some of the things that you've said that are pretty narcissistic, pretty disturbing and thoughtless when it comes to humanity and other people. Hey, listen, we all make mistakes, but it'd be great to get Bill Maher. I've seen what he's been saying, and he hasn't come up with a lot of specifics. I want to see specifics that he's talking about. He likes to generalize. All right, that's enough about that because it'll most likely be edited. Because if we don't get Bill, I'm telling you right now, if we don't get Bill Maher, I'm going to have a field day of showing you certain pictures that a lot of people may not have seen, certain shoes he wears or has worn, certain outfits at certain rituals. We'll just leave it at that. All right. Do we have our guys?
We have our guys.
All right, cool beans.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. What's Brett's last name? I forgot to write Brett's last name.
Raio.
Raro.
No, Raio. Ray.
Raio.
Yes.
Okay.
Radio without the D.
Got it. I love it. Okay.
Rayo. That's how it's pronounced. Yep. Rayo.
I got you. Yep. I know. Like the sauce. Okay, cool. All right. So a couple of weeks ago, Clay Clark of Reawaken American Tour, whatever you think of it, that's what you think of it. The first time he asked me to do one of those shows, I was extremely nervous, and I was extremely. I was like, "Wait a minute, what is this?" He called me out of blue, and he's like, "Yeah, I really think you should be doing this and in front of this audience." And when I finally did the show, I couldn't believe the people that were gathered. It was a lot of faith-based people. It was a lot of people that feel something seriously is wrong with America, and people that are very concerned. And yet there was so much love at those events and in those rooms. I don't know how to explain it. It's some of the, but hands down, I love going to the Reawaken I don't Reawaken American tours. I don't put a lot of advertising on it because I'm still trying to figure out. I always try to figure out who's who and what their intentions are, and that doesn't matter what the event is. I always try to figure out what's the true thing behind this and all that jazz. So, but I have to say, it's an incredible loving feeling every time I've been part of that. So after one of those gigs, which was not my favorite one, he did a Las Vegas one, and I was not happy with it. Only, but I wasn't happy with my performance only because I wasn't prepared. We came in, and he got the 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 city closed, made him lose at least 2.5 hours. Supposed to go like 10 o'clock, and the next thing you know, the city was like, you need to close down by 8. And we were all scheduled. I wasn't scheduled to about 7:30 p.m. I had to end up going on around 5. I just landed, and believe it or not, in the madness mind of myself, even just doing stand up, I don't just go up and wing it. If I'm going to go at the Reawaken American tours, I don't go up and wing it. I sit there and I kind of try to get the whole situation at hand and blah blah blah. And I wasn't prepped. I'm not making excuses, but uh, I wasn't. But the people still made me feel so loved. And right after that, Clay sends me this video, and the words were powerful. The video was incredible, and I've seen these guys before. I've seen them before, and I remember seeing them before. I'm like, wow, who are these guys? Now I can't show the videos here, but if you go to listen, if you go to Patreon, I could play it there. I can't play it on YouTube. I can't play it anywhere else. It's for rights and all that jazz. But I did want to get to know these guys because one of them they did. Clay literally called them up. It's like, hey, can you involve this event? Hey, can you do this? And they just write it like it's nobody's business. They just a snap of a finger. Here's a song. It's catchy. It's really cool. And what I love about it, they look like regular guys. So I said I got to talk to these guys. So please welcome Mr. Charlie Carbone and Mr. Brett Rayo. What's up, guys?
What's up, Jim?
All right, so Charlie, I'll say to you immediately, the reason why I started watching you, or I knew right away, and nothing against you, Rayo, because you look exactly like someone in my family, and they'll know who it is. His first name is Damien, and I went, "Is Damien rapping? Is that?" I had to call my niece in Long Island and go, Denise, did Damien quit his job? Like, is he rapping on the side? It's frightening. I'm gonna send you a picture of Damien, and I was like, "What? I know Damien. Wait, we should be touring together. Why are we not touring together? Why are you in this school world? What are you doing, Damien?"
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then I'm really you guys' music really. It's incredible, and I feel it's exactly what the times need. You guys, it's so inspiring. It's so it's so relevant. It's so I'll say it's beautiful. It's spiritual, and when I say spiritual, not just like a godly spiritual thing. It's spiritual as far as humanity and where we are in our lives as a country and all that. It's pretty amazing. So I'd love to understand who you guys are. Rayo, I say it right? Rayos?
Yeah, absolutely. Well done.
You're
Yeah,
a
no,
baby. How old are you?
thanks. I'm 21.
21.
Yeah.
Do you use an electric shaver or are you got the
I use a straight razor like George Washington did.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
You just play with
No, be for real.
No. It is pretty. It's impressive. I love how Damie's like, "This is making my light look bad. My side of my face don't look good. I gotta shut the light."
Damien.
Now you know how I feel. Look at the bags under my eyes. It's hard. I thought about this the other day. How would life exist? I brought this up to my daughter. If we had no mirrors, would we
Wow.
think the same? Right? Would we
Yeah.
think the same? Would we do the same things? If we couldn't see what we looked like,
Wow.
would we listen to each other more? Because then most of our things are coming from the inside rather than
That's good.
how we look and all that. So, first of all, how did you two connect as musicians? Because Charlie, you've been doing it a while, but you also have a regular job. Like, how's this work?
No, I haven't been doing it in a while. That's the funny part. I worked for the New York City Department of Transportation. When all the shots started coming out and all that nonsense started coming out, I seen nothing good in it, and I said, I'm not going to go for it. And I stood up and I told all the workers there everything about it, all the knowledge that I had. I like they looked at me like I was crazy. Like I showed them videos of Bill Gates telling them on stage about, like I showed them the video, and nobody cared.
It's mind blowing, and I know. I always wondered because those videos that came out during COVID, right before COVID, I always wondered, were they meant for people like yourself, me, and millions of others? Was that the first sprinkle of let's see who starts waking up? Because I'll tell you what, to see Bill Gates and so many others as a fact say we need to depopulate the world. And I would say if this is what they do in movies. The only thing between Bill Gates and a villain is he doesn't have a cape. He doesn't have a certain hat. I mean, and I would say the only thing missing in a Bill Gates video where he says the next pandemic is that's going to be the real one. The only thing missing is him going and Rob Schneider started saying very similar things too. And what's incredible, I see Rob Schneider do a bit where he goes, Bill Gates said this. And then you see the clip of him saying, and then people go, oh, that's a conspiracy. Go, no, he said it. Here's the video. He's just launched mosquitoes. He said he wants to block the sun. What do you need? Do I have to show someone in front of you murdering someone before you go, I don't know if that's really murder? Like, what is? So, all right. I'm sorry. I don't mean to go on a Charlie. You got me all. I'm with you. So you're seeing these videos along with a million other ones.
Clear as day. Yeah.
Clear as day.
Clear as day.
Clear as day.
And he said,
and here comes round 2, by the way.
Right.
Or at least they're trying.
They're going to
Go
try.
ahead. Sorry. All right. So you're working for the Department of Transportation in New York. And you tell them, hey, man, something's going down.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I worked 7 years there, and I suffered at like the bottom line pay for 7 years. And on the 8th year, you get top pay and you get like 6 figures salary. It's decent salary to live on. And that's when it came, of course. And he put me to the test, and I said, I don't care about the money. My health's way more important than the money. And my wife was 100% behind me. No doubt whatsoever. I tried to
They wanted you to get the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
And there wasn't a chance it was happening. And I tried to tell as many people as I could while I was there. People looked at you like you're crazy. At that point, it was in 2020, whatever it was. Now they don't even. They're not even fully awake now. That's the scary part. That's what scares me.
It is a little scary. So how does that go to the music?
So when I noticed what was going on with it, and I noticed how evil it was, it drew me closer to God. And as I got closer to God, God was just leading the way. And I just submitted my life to God, and I just whatever he told me to do, I did, and he told me to write. I never did any music in my life before, so I just decided to write. I sent the song that I
Never
made.
did music before.
No, never.
You
No.
never did music before, bro. When I watch you guys, I'm like, there's that. All right, well, that is beyond mind blowing to me because I. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
It's the Holy
Go ahead.
Spirit just pushing through me. It's just leading me away. So I wrote a song called Chemical Warfare about what was going on. That's a video you should check out. It's a very, very good video. It was the first one. So I sent
Everyone
it
go
to
check
Jimmy,
it out. Chemical warfare. Chemical warfare. Go ahead.
So I sent it to Jimmy Levy because he was doing all those powerful songs at the time. Welcome to the
Yeah.
Revolution and This is a War.
Yes.
And I loved what he was doing. I was like, this guy is awesome. He's got faith. He's got patriotism. So I sent it to him. He don't get it because at the time he had like 500,000 followers. He's probably getting 1,000 messages a day. He didn't see it.
Yes. Yes.
So, right. So now I'm looking for somebody else online to fit this song. And I'm just keep looking. I keep just scrolling past people. And then this kid comes along, 19 years old. I'm listening to him. I'm like, his voice, his passion, his heart, patriotism, and God. Like, this is
This is Brett.
Yeah. Yep.
So you find Brett,
Yes.
and do you go ahead, continue, reach out to him?
Sent him a message. Like 2 weeks later, he messaged me back. Let's go. Let's come to Maine. Let's make a hit. So we made the song. I jumped in my car from New York. I drove to Maine 6 hours. You know, I got to know him. We spent the day together, and he showed me this video platform idea that he has for like a video music platform. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, the world needs this. I'm like, this is perfect. And his whole vision for it was just like perfect, but he just needed someone to help him push it along financially, get it going. And, I got a lot of people I reach out to and whatnot. And the video platform idea is genius. It's going to be launching in like 2 weeks. It's clean, only clean, no perversion, no secular music. No, we're not going to allow it. We don't care. We don't care if it brings us less views than YouTube or this one or that one. But
who cares?
Who cares? It's clean, no perversion, and kids could go on there and they could watch videos and watch music and have art and have shows and comedy like you, and it could be clean, and their mind is not going to be perverted after they get off of it.
And just so people know, on my life, I had no clue about this. So this isn't, I need people to know this literally started. I've never used my instinct and my intuition so much in my life, just like you, Charlie. When 2020 hit, I had a strong calling of God, and I was petrified to put out there because, oh, he's the guy from Half Baked. Oh, he's the guy from Stein. Oh, he does family. Have I been doing family comedy? Yes. But when it comes to, when you start throwing God out there and when you start throwing faith, people are like, whoa, what are you, one of these cultists? What are you, a maniac? You know how many wars, religion? Like, that's not God. You're missing the point. God is the product. We can't get mad at God because all the salespeople are horrifying. That's a whole different beast to get into. But I started doing these Instagram videos, and I tell you, there was, and I'm not ashamed to say it anymore, where I had such turmoil inside me, but I knew the world needed it bad. And I think it's not just you and me. There was I think people across the whole world were feeling this way, but we were petrified because we didn't know what we were supposed to do with it. And so this is pretty powerful. And all my life, I had no clue about any of this. So now you're talking to Brett. Brett, you're 21. So this means you're like 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
At the time. And Charlie, is it like, what is your wife doing? I'm like, wait a minute, Charlie. This sounds like, did you ever see the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind? Where if you haven't seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind, basically everyone's obsessed with this triangle, and everyone keeps building this mud form, and and they keep hearing like, meh, 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 and the wives and everyone's like, Charlie, what are you doing? Stop doing this. You're going, what are you doing? And they finally just, their intuition brings them to where the aliens are actually landing. And it's then you see the sculpture of where they're landing is what they've seen in their head. So I just see Close Encounters right now. Your wife's going, so you're going to meet an 18-year-old boy in Maine for a song? For a song. So let me get this right. We've lost our pension. Your parents aren't talking as everyone thinks we're crazy, Charlie. Charlie, everyone thinks we're crazy. Do you understand this? People are dying and wearing masks, and you're driving to Maine to meet an 18-year-old boy to write a song? What happened to you? What is going on? This is the part where people don't understand. This is how powerful this vision is. This is nutso. All right, go ahead. And I don't say it's nutso crazy anymore. I say it's amazing. It's amazing. Right,
here's the crazy part of the story.
Wow.
Ready for I was nothing yet.
Has it been crazy yet? Go ahead.
So now he tells me about this platform. He shows me his vision and all that, and I'm like, this is what's neat because I have children. So I see that they're attacking.
How old?
16 and 9.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So I see my son. I'm slowly pulling him into faith and getting him away from the secular rap music, slowly, little at a time. God's given me little drops of wisdom how to do it with him. And it's happening. It's slowly happening. He understands it. My daughter, she's another one. She's on the internet. So I'm trying to block her. I'm watching everything she's on. I'm, every second, of the day. And
not easy.
So when he had this idea, I was like, this is perfect because not only could kids get on it, adults, we don't want to get our minds perverted either. Like, we don't want to be.
Bro, I've been trying to figure this out forever. Charlie. And so the fact that a young man like Brett is already into I thank God for that generation, that there are people that understand the importance of that, and they understand the demonic. I have to use the word demonic. The demonic power that has infiltrated every entertainment branch that exists, whether it's your newspaper, whether it's your magazine, whether it's your music, whether it's your politicians, whether it's Hollywood, television, film. Trust me when I say it is all set to program you. So go ahead. This is so now you're going. Here's the crazy part. You're driving to Maine.
So remember, I told you I did that. I sent the song to Jimmy first. Jimmy Levy. I sent it first to him. So now 6 months later, we're moving along with the platform. We got the funding to start it up, pay for it and move it along. And we're still making music, but we're more interested in the platform. So we're really not like 100% into music. We're more into the platform and saving children and saving the minds of people. And that's what we're more important. That's more important right now. So anyway, 6 months down the line, Jimmy Levy puts out a contest online to do a song with him. So he puts this contest out. I'm like, Brett, why don't you do it? And he's just focused on more important and higher things. So he's not really he didn't really care about like the promotion for him. So, so the song was,
go ahead.
The song was called God on My Side. And God's been on my side ever since I lost he kept me from harm, getting away out of my career and whatnot. So I said, I told him to do it. He was like, wasn't really interested in it. I said, let me do it. I'm a rookie at this. There's all sorts of veterans in this doing it, guys that are doing music for 20 years, 10 years. Let me just do it. I put my heart into it. I did it. Next thing you know, next week I make it to the next round, the next round. I make it to the final 4. That day, I'm doing the final 4. And someone on Instagram that followed me from the beginning when I just did the first song, from the beginning, like a year ago, whatever. So, she was following me, and I messaged her about it, and she messaged back, and she was like having like these all sorts of hard times. And so I called her. I don't have a phone number. I just called her on Instagram, and she just happened to pick up, and she was like suicidal, and she was like in a really bad place. So I just kept like, then I just shifted, and I wasn't worried about the challenge. Even it was the day of like the last four, it was going to be announced the winner. So I was like, let me talk to her. I just talked to her. I got her off the
Wow.
ledge, and I got her, her mind was right after, I was very happy about, and everything went well. I hung up the phone, and I got 1,000 messages that I won. It's like,
Wow.
right? It's insane.
Wow.
It's nuts.
Wow. There's so many elements of that story that are mind-blowing to me, because the whole shift of energy of, am I going to win? Because the things we get caught up in is, and I could say it's the first time in my life, and I think this is why I'm so happy, is because I don't want, you went from, how to say, when you want to win, I know you visualize what happens when you win, and we lose the course, meaning when we win, oh my God, okay, so then that'll lead to, and then we'll get, and then we'll the platform, and then we'll be in arenas, and then we'll save the world. We'll be in Australia. We'll be Parsi Uganda, and they don't even speak English, and they'll be bouncing upon the beats, and I will have free reservations wherever I call. Yes. And that's a hard, that to me, that's the deep, bro. That monster's so good at deception like that. He loves vanity. He's like, Sire, we have a disturbance in the force. There's this fella named Charlie, and he's met this young, powerful walker named Breuer, and together they plan on taking over for the sake of goodness. Oh, humble, just send him money and vanity, and we shall destroy his soul and heart instantly. Send the thunder. Dun, 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 dun. Charlie, you want to be rich and famous, don't you? Well, of course, it's for the god. Yeah, we know that. But, wow. And then you go off course to talk to this woman, and see, I'm into this stuff. To me, I almost see that as a test. Where it's like, what are you truly doing this for? And do you truly care? Wow. All right. So now you win. You win
Yeah.
the Jimmy Levy thing.
I wasn't even winning. At the time when this happened, I wasn't even winning. I felt like I was behind in votes. And I just was like, all right, whatever happens, happens. Whoever wins, God bless them. And then the call happened, and then I hung up and I won. Like, is that not God? Come on.
It's really, I try talking about that a lot here, and where it's, everyone has a different path to God. Everyone has a different path to light and all that. But I'm with you 1,000%. There's no other way to explain that. I have multiple stories I won't get into now, but they've heard them on the show. You can look back into it. All right, so now life changes, right? And we haven't even gotten. We're not even on Brett yet. Brett's still 21. He's like, Ma, I'll take the garbage out in a minute. I'm sorry. I'm causing platforms that are going to change the world. I don't care. Take your garbage out. I will. I'm just saying. I'm not. I know it looks like I'm on the computer, but I'm changing lives. Well, you can change mine by taking out the garbage, like I've asked you 17 times. And don't think you're sitting around here all day not working. Oh my
man.
gosh. Wow. I don't know about you, Ma, but I'm working on helping the world. Kid is 19 years old. Okay. So now the song, what happens now? What happens?
So I never bothered Jimmy because he's got a lot going on. So we just kept, moving along with our platform, just working on that, not really putting any real attention to it, like, because it's not really.
What is Brett showing me? What is Brett showing me? He's
Oh,
showing me.
he's out in my yard right now.
What?
He's here. He just got here last night.
He's in the yard. So you keep looking back like, you're right back there, Brett.
I drove all the way.
I know the mosquitoes are bad. I'm here. What are you in Staten Island? Staten Island. I know the swamp.
No,
the
in
mosquitoes
Jersey.
are bad. You're
Bill
in
Gates
Jersey.
mosquito.
I know the Jersey. Yeah, I'm sorry, Brett.
I got a billion Bill Gates mosquitoes coming after me in his backyard. I drove all the way to New Jersey from May, 6 feet in his backyard.
Oh, Brett, you ain't got nothing. He launched them in Florida. Can I just tell you? He launched them in Florida. Million. So, and that's another thing. People go into politics. DeSantis is great. Oh, yeah? Well, he allowed 1 billion mosquitoes by Bill Gates. So
Right, exactly.
DeSantis just really got on the back burner for me. And now I want to talk to him about that. That's another whole. I walked out today. I shouldn't say what I was going to. Long story short, in the back of me, I have water. And God, I'm so sorry. But we had this, someone brought us a turkey years ago. We were supposed to have for Thanksgiving. Someone else. So this thing's been in the freezer for 4 years. To me, I don't care if it's in there 20, 30 years. I'm still going to eat it when I thaw it out. My wife was not having it. And she said, go in the woods and dump it for the animals. Well, me like a dummy, forget I live in Florida. I'm walking out like this with my sandals. I lasted 5 feet, and you would have thought I was like the devil of mosquitoes. They came out in the thousands out of the grass, like, get him. And right before I came here, that's why I'm keeping my arms down here. I'm done. They mauled me. Long story short, I still have this poor turkey. It's in my knapsack. It's in a bag. But I was going to bring it to a homeless shelter, and someone said, don't give it to them because if it's bad. I'm like, what am I, this poor turkey? What am I going to do with this poor thing? So I understand the mosquitoes. So Brett, you're outside.
It's like 100 degrees.
He's and I see there's no sun, so he's probably got the only shade left in the yard.
A little bit. Appreciate it.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. All right.
That was kind.
Charlie's like, go sit out in the back. I'll let you know when it's your turn. Yeah. Platform. Get on the deck.
Me and my wife are crying. We're both crying over here. We're crying.
Oh my gosh, I'm having such a good time. So, all right, walk me further now, Levy, and you guys. Now the song, we're at the final, and you won.
Yeah. So then afterwards, I really didn't really. It was great, whatever. And we just kept going along with the platform, moving along, not really concentrating so much on music. We're just really like trying to get that out more because he forget about it. His talent is unbelievable. So actually, last 3 months, about 2-3 months ago, we went to Miami to go meet Jimmy.
Okay.
So we knocked out 2 super powerful songs, like really, really, really powerful songs.
Are they out there now?
Not yet, because Jimmy's got
Okay.
some stuff to do first that he's got to put out. So we met with him. We hung out. It was more like just like fellowshipping with him for the weekend. It wasn't really just go there and do music because he's such a genuine, great brother. So we just wanted to hang. We went bowling. We went, we just hung out. It was fun. And then Brett was like, let's go to the studio. And he was like, all right. And then we just went to the studio and knocked him out.
This is so Brett, what is good, buddy? How you doing? Besides on the deck in New Jersey with 1,000 degrees steaming on you, and you're a kid creating an app to save the world of family friendly vision, which is what is your, how's this come about for you? What?
Yeah, I've been making music for like the past, 10, 15 years, like pretty much all my life. I've just been making music, like performing, singing, I started
Wait a minute. Whoa.
I knew I was going to get him. I knew it.
So while everyone else is playing kickball and everyone else is like on Wii when Wii first came out, the Wii, and GameStop, you're out there going, okay, this lyric rhymes with that. And then I'll boot. No, I don't like that. More like a nah, it's too I like that one. I'm gonna put that one and write that lyric. What are you doing? Why aren't you playing? Ma, I'm writing music that's gonna change the world. Will you stop? Why don't you play Wii like everyone else? Ma, please. Can you clean the kitty litter? I will after I finish these lyrics. Oh my goodness, this guy and his lyrics. And I'm not saying your mom's like that. I just
it's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate. Pretty good.
I mean, what 10-year-old kid is like, listen, I can't come out. I can't meet you at the ball game. I know you need one more guy to even the sides out. I'm writing music, bro. What? What are you writing music? What are you writing? What are you writing? What are you writing at 11, 12? I like to call the yellow. And if you mix it with blue, you get green. And the green is like the grass and the world. I mean,
sounds like a Coldplay song.
What?
Sounds like a Coldplay song.
Yeah, you're right.
Yellow.
Yeah, you're right. Now I know where they get their stuff. Green. Write something about green. Green, yellow. Yellow. I like that. I want some rhymes with that. Can we sound like Bono? Okay, add the Bono sound with the yellow.
I'll pass.
Yeah. I got you. So you're writing music.
Yeah.
And who are you showing it to?
I don't know, like anyone I can, So then I started like doing Instagram. Like I was doing YouNow back in the day when they did YouNow. I don't know if you've heard of that, but it's like a video streaming thing that like little kids use. So back in the day I was doing that. Now it's kind of like weird. There's like a bunch of old people. It's just getting strange. But anyways, that was back in the day. I did that, and then I did Instagram, and I was trying to get my music anywhere, trying to build my brand. Like I was designing websites since I was like 9 or so, 8. And so I was like, what I would do is I'd go to my neighbors and I'd like pick up I go to my neighbors, I'd pick up acorns out of their lawn, to make a couple of bucks. I'd pick up like acorns and leaves and all that stuff. So I was like doing businesses and like garage sales, lemonade stands, all that stuff, when I was younger, like 6, 7, 8 years old, I was doing that kind of stuff.
Could you imagine if one of your acorn collector door knocks is watching right now going, wait a minute. That's the kid who used to knock on my door and he'd say, if you give me $3, I'll collect all your acorns.
Yeah.
I always thought that kid was a little off because wow. Claire.
Yeah.
Claire.
It's a good strategy.
What do you want? It's the acorn kid.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So you're designing, you're trying to figure out designing.
Yeah.
Apps and websites. You're like 13, 14.
Yeah. I was like,
what school are you going to? What was your school like?
I was like 7 or 8 when I was like designing websites. So I started that then, maybe 8 or 9. But I started it then because I was trying to build like a brand and do my music stuff and all that, So I was trying to learn it for that. And then,
what is your inspiration? Like bring me back to, you're that age. What makes you, are you in public school? You in private school? You homeschooled?
Yeah, I'm in public school. And
okay.
So I went to this public school. Everything's like follow the rubric and all this nonsense. And it's just like really, annoying. So I never really had that much fun.
You knew. Okay,
yeah,
so you knew.
I knew it. And it wasn't that fun. Towards like middle school, I started like, getting more serious with Jesus. Like when I was in kindergarten, I'd bring my Bible to school, put it on my desk, and I'd have teachers tell me to put it away at like 6 years old, kindergarten.
All right, so your parents, is it mom and dad?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're clearly strong faith.
Yeah, they were more like Catholic, kind of stand up, sit down kind of faith at that point. Like they weren't that deep with God, at that point.
Stand up. Yeah. Sit down, hum. Everyone say this at the same time. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's stand up, kneel down. What are we doing? Why are we? Like, is this what's going on right now? Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're done, go talk in that little booth to the guy you can trust.
Right.
Sorry. Sorry.
No, it's 100% accurate. So, yeah, that was so my dad eventually was like, okay, that's not right. You know, it just doesn't make sense anymore. He just moved on, and we went to Baptist churches, went to these churches, that church, and then eventually, like towards 2019, I started like taking the Lord more seriously. I watched this YouTube channel, Cleveland Street Preachers. I started watching this and learning about
Cleveland
evangelism.
Street. Hold on. So it was called Cleveland Street Preachers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I started.
And are they all different color? Are they black people, white? Or is it everyone?
It's mostly just this guy Joseph who runs it. So a big mentor of mine in my life, by God's grace, and Joseph runs it. But yeah, I mean, in the body of Christ, it's everyone, so everyone's involved. But Joseph runs it, and I started watching this channel. I started like getting really encouraged, and I started like passing out tracts at school, caring more about Jesus, taking it more seriously. But right around that time,
you are not popular at this time. You are not popular in. You're now
everyone knows me, but like it's like
okay.
It's one of those things where they all know me, but it's like very mixed emotions. Some people like in person they'll be nice and stuff, and then in the crowds it's like, oh, I don't know you, and then it's just like weird stuff. But
no, I got you. That's a tough place to be.
Yeah, I was sitting with myself
with society at that. I'm just trying to figure out at that time of your life, where you're at in school and what's going on in school at that time, and where your head's at. So go ahead.
So I'm sitting by myself at lunch and stuff like that, and just like working on websites and doing like social media stuff and all that. And I spent like a whole probably 2 or 3 summers just on my phone on Instagram the entire time, just like DMing people, doing everything, trying to build my phone there. So that was I spent like a long time.
And your intention at that time is like, what's your main drive at that time? Do you remember?
At that point in time, I was just when I first started like caring about Instagram, one of the big reasons was because I was seeing all these girls on there cutting themselves and talking about being suicidal, being depressed, and all these things. And I was just like, this is horrible to see. Like, I need to help people, So
wow.
I went on there with the intention of helping people in that way first. That's what I really cared about first. And then I realized if I get a bigger following, I can impact more people. And at that point in time, I was like, stay smiling, God bless you. Like, silly things. Like, it just wasn't that deep for me. I was just like, stay smiling, God bless you.
Yeah, it's just not that deep for you.
Right. Not that deep and
upbeat. Life is good. I believe in Jesus. Yeah.
And then as I went, I just took it more seriously, got deeper, and evolved. Now I'm telling people about Jesus Christ, not just God bless you. Because what I realized when you say God bless you, like some people they're their own gods. You know what I mean? There's so many gods in this world.
Well,
Jesus Christ.
I talked about. I think I don't know if it was on the last podcast or whatever, but where I think the bad guys take advantage is using certain words.
Yeah.
And if we sit there, if you look at your dollar bill or any money, it says "In God we trust." But in God we trust. However, that statement is such. I used to say such a lie, but now I'm like, maybe it's not a lie.
Yeah.
Maybe clearly their God is something different, because if you're going on money, in God we trust is already a joke to me.
Yeah.
You can't put in God we trust on money,
right,
because money's the God. And
right,
if you're saying our country is in God we trust, well, when we look at what they portray in our country, it's fame, self-righteousness, lust,
yeah,
everything sexualized. it's everything, vanity,
Pride.
popularity. What's that?
Pride
is here. People don't realize, and in nothing against the gay community, but when you say pride, that's one of the worst things you could do.
Yep.
Pride is a form of self-righteousness. And so anything with pride, I'm very prideful. That is a dangerous thing to lead your life with. Very dangerous. So it's not to be glorified. It's not to be glamorous whatsoever. So when they say in God we trust, it makes me wonder, whoever made our money, whoever created the government, or the banking, maybe it's not, maybe it's the banking. Who created the banking? Whoever created the banking that says in God we trust, is their God the devil? Because
Yeah.
if they consider that's a God, then it's a play on words on all of us, because the God that they're referring to is not what they're selling whatsoever when it comes to a dollar. Sorry I
Yeah.
had to put that out there, but
No.
I'm not sorry, but I need people to understand how the monsters, the demons play the words on
Right.
all of humanity and make you go, "Oh yeah, God, yeah, God
Yeah.
bless our country." Well, what God are you talking about? Exactly. Because your
Yep.
God may be the one that's in the woods that looks like an owl, that you wear a robe and you're lighting fires and you're into some dark, dark, creepy stuff as you're downstairs making decisions in certain temples. I don't want to hit them. You know where they are. They're in your town. They're up the street from you. You can clearly see them. They're all what I call false gods.
Yeah.
And what does God say? Don't. What's the Jesus thing? The false idols.
Yeah.
Very
Yes.
powerful that people understand that. All right, I'm with you, man. This is amazing.
Yeah. False idols, and idols are like idle, IDLE, like they're idle. It's just like it's vanity. You're wasting your life. And when it comes to
Correct.
in God we trust, I personally think that it's less of trusting in God, like having faith in Him, and it's more like God entrusts the land as like the beneficiary. They're the co-beneficiaries of the land, of the trust. It's more of a legal term than a faith
Wow.
term. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow. Yes. No, you're right. This kid, Charlie, like what? There's hope for us, Charlie. There's
Swear to God.
honestly hope.
That's exactly what I seen. I said when I met him. Exactly how you're meeting him. That's how I met him. Exactly what you're thinking.
Lord
Oh, they're
Jesus.
gonna now, Brett. They're gonna come after you hard.
That's fine. I'm cool with that.
When I
dude.
say they're gonna dress up as females.
Yeah.
Send him.
I can pass.
Send him a beautiful woman that says she's a Christ believer.
Yeah. I'll pass.
Be very careful, my friend. Be very careful.
I'll pass. Yeah, I'm very good. I'll pass. But
No, you got laser beam sight. Wow.
Give
But,
me water, please, honey. Okay. No, drink it.
Right.
Shows.
Yeah, so basically, basically what happened to me in school is I actually ended up leaving school. I just got kicked out for trying to write a paper on abortion and not even writing it, just saying that I want to write the paper on abortion for a crime in the USA part of the class, an English class, by the way, which I always fail English class, yet I'm a songwriter and an article writer. Millions of people listen to songs and read the articles. It's just strange. But,
You got kicked out of school
yeah,
or kicked out of class?
school for 3 days.
What school is this?
The
Do you
school
mind
is
me asking?
That's fine. It's Mount Ararat High School in Maine, and just corrupt, liberalized school.
Mount Airy High School.
No, worse. Mount Ararat, which is in the Bible, actually.
Mount Ararat?
Yeah.
I love how they have the word rat at the end.
Yeah.
Mararat in Maine
Yeah.
chastised you because you, as a young man in school, willing to learn, ask questions, wanted to write a paper about abortion. They wouldn't allow it. That is an atrocity. And this is the education that we send our children to, that we have no clue that these demons have taken over on. All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, indoctrination center.
Wow, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So okay, so what happens? So are you out of the class or are you out of the school? Like, did they bring your parents in? What's going on?
Yeah, well, I left the school. I mean, I got kicked out. I was interrogated by the vice principal for hours and hours and hours. He's like,
Who's the vice principal?
I don't know his name. And then, it's
okay.
okay.
So the vice principal of this school in Maine, who may still be there, interrogates you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And so I was interrogated all day. Like, so you said the word gun, right? I'm like, yes, I said the word gun, but here's how I said it. And I explained to him.
See, no, you didn't bring that part up. You
Yeah.
didn't bring up the gun part.
Oh,
You left
it's
that
okay.
part out.
Well, I'll explain. So what happened is in the classroom, we were having a conversation about it because I said, yeah, I want to write the paper on abortion. And, the people are like, oh, first it was like, okay, yeah. So
a lot of rear, no offense. I know your platform is going to be clean, but a lot of, we'll use the word Heine. A lot of Heinies park it up real tight when you brought that up. You can hear the air.
Yeah.
Ooh, let it.
Yeah.
So, wow, he put it out there like that. Okay.
So then basically, it's like, okay, so I mentioned that I want to write a paper on murder of the unborn. And my teacher's like, okay, abortion, sure. She wrote abortion on the board, no problem. Nobody has an issue. Then certain girls in the classroom start saying, hey, that's not right. They start talking. They start, yelling across the room and saying like, so what? So you'll eat chicken eggs though? Like that was their argument, that I eat chicken eggs. So now I can't be abortion, murdering children.
If I'll give you a little story for anyone out there with abortion. And I think this is one of those subjects where, and you guys can, whatever your feelings are, this really hit me a while ago, where here we are talking about hopefully changing lives for the better, reaching whoever we can with a moral, godly, Christ, God, spiritual, get to the light. And they made abortion, and I know, again, I can hear all the Heinies suckering their air. But here's the deal. They've taken every important issue in life and they made a sales pitch. You're either for it or against it. And that's the great deceiver, what they've done. What they haven't done is take the humanity out of it. They've taken the humanity out of it. And if you think, and anyone who, I'll give you a story. So my mom was in her 40s when she had me. Now, I was her 5th kid. She had like 4 different men. She had a very tragic life, probably leading up to me. It was very tragic. It was beautiful and then tragic and all that jazz. It was a horrible lifestyle, young lady. But when it came to me, she meets my dad. I don't know. I know she gets pregnant. And after like 2 gin martinis, she would tell me the story. She loved telling me the story. And she would go, I wasn't supposed to have you. And I know the haters are going to have a field day right now. And she shouldn't have, right? You suck. And that's fine. You'll get over your dark heart one day. And I'll be very happy for you when you do. She said, I wasn't supposed to have you. She goes, back then, I wasn't married yet. It didn't look good. I already had 4 kids with 3 different men. And she goes, Jim, God just kept telling me, and this is not my life. I don't need to say this. This is a true story. It's my mom. I would never lie about my mother for anyone listening. And she said, God kept saying, I don't know. This one, you might want to, she said the doctors, her friends really, everyone around her was like, you can't have a kid. You can die. One, you could die. Because back then, we're talking 1967. And the other thing was, haters are going to love this. You can come out deformed or something wrong with you. Something wrong, right? Rather, whatever. I won't use the terms. And she then said, this is from my mother's, she said, but my decision was made because I was convinced I lost you. Because about 3 months in, I bled out. She goes, I saw it. I saw it in the bathroom, and not to get graphic. And she bled out, which then we laughed as we went on. She goes, and then a couple months later, so I forgot about it. Like, I'm not pregnant anymore. I lost the baby.
Wow. And
she goes, a couple months later, she was dancing, and my mom loved to drink and have a good time. My dad, they come from the World War II era. My mom's first husband was killed in World War II while she had their child. 6 weeks before the war ended. So she had and then one tragedy after the other, and her dad dies. Anyway, and my dad was in World War II. And that's another whole story. A couple months later, she's dancing, having a good time, and she goes, "I felt a kick." And I went, "Oh, wow, that's not gas. Oh my God, there's a baby inside me." So she went from she needs to abort this child to then, you know what, you lost the kid. And then I was born. And I was born in low income housing. I was in low income housing. The Fenwood Apartments, if you want to do your homework. He wasn't born in the Fenwood Apartments in Valley Stream, New York. It's low income housing. And then from there, you know, my brother, everyone was on drugs. My family was there was hippie, but I was always surrounded by powerful love. And I thank the Almighty that I'm here today to talk about it. And if my mom made that decision, and this is what I try telling people, it's not about your rights. It's not about this and that. It's a deeper conversation. So when politicians try to say you're for abortion, you're against abortion, how do you feel? It's such a disturbing, disgusting display to put such a powerful subject of life out there. Now, there's circumstances where people feel the necessity to do it. Sure. But to promote blindness, just with full blindness, because you think you have a right, or you think it's my body, my choice, which was a slogan created by an evil individual and pure demonic evil individual. There's nothing you could say to convince me otherwise. It's not for the health of a woman. It's not for the right of a woman. It's the pure demonic intention to put that out there. This story, and there's so many stories like me, I wish everybody can hear these. These are stories that need to be heard and told. And then at least when they're presented in front of you, now you can go on and do what you have to do. But you got to remember, you got to live with that decision.
Yep.
And if you're okay, I know very close people in my life that have done that. And I'm telling you, not just you two, I'm telling the world, they felt great, horrific guilt and pain that led to drugs, bad drugs, led to really bad things. And both, very close in my world, have gotten over it, but it took years, but they still sob when they think of those moments of why they were convinced to do it. And this is what I tell people too, when it comes to abortion, first of all, when you don't have God in your life, you don't understand deeper meaning in life. If you think we're here just to have sex with one another, which is what's been demonized with humanity, it's sex. It's not. No, it's not. This is a thing to keep living organisms continually out of a respect, this is our duty in life. And to look at it and not understand that perhaps God trusted you because he knew the direction you were going. And maybe he said, maybe if I can give you an angel, because I trust that this strength is inside you. I trust that your self-righteousness, your delusion of I'm bigger than this and I can't do this and me, my life, my this, you don't know what your journey is. You have no clue what your journey is. And your journey may be one of the most powerful people in the world, which then goes back to one nation under God. What is the most powerful thing they put out there? Self-righteousness, ego, pride. And what's more powerful than that? Something from God. And when they take that all out, your vision is gone. You don't know what your journey is. I don't know what my journey is, but I'll tell you what, when I look at my journey and I get to talk with two people like you, and I see the way you're changing lives in the world, I feel beyond blessed. And I thank God that my mother did what she did. And I owe it all to God
Man.
and
That's it.
her. But she listened. And that is the part of abortion that really drives me crazy. It's like you guys you're making this a sales pitch.
Yeah.
And maybe one day people will understand the deeper meaning of you don't know your journey. You don't know what God has planned. And let's say you don't believe in God. You want to believe in karma, whatever it is you believe in. If you look at the decisions you make in life, they always affect something down the road.
Yeah.
And to not even give that a chance for yourself and or another life,
Right.
maybe you should put some more time into that rather than my body, my choice. My body, my choice. My body, my choice.
Man, yeah.
Don't sell yourself short like that.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like we have to. Wow. First of all, let me hear about this app, and then we'll because I feel like we need to talk multiple times. This can't end here. So what is this like? Can people look for this app? Is it definitely coming out? Don't get me hopped up and it's not coming out.
Yeah, no, it's coming out this month. No, yeah,
This month?
This month. Surely this month. We don't have an exact date at the moment. We're finalizing everything right now. Hopefully within the next 2 to 3 weeks at the latest. But it's coming out this month, 100%, guaranteed.
Brett,
Yeah.
I'm going to hold you to this.
Yeah, my word.
Don't say hopefully.
This month it is coming out. Period.
Because bad things is supposed to happen this month. I love how they say that too. Like, Bear, you know, in every movie you saw 2023. So on September 23rd, and I was at Reawaken. I had some guy come up he's a big Jesus guy, and he comes up, and I listen, but I'm like, I get it, because there are some Jesus people that I believe they don't see everything with clarity.
Yeah.
That's in every, to me, it's all intention. It's all intention.
Right.
But he was like, on September 23rd, the devil, destroys America. But then the 24th, Jesus is here. And I went, okay, well, I'll be here.
Yeah,
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm
Yeah.
glad you're, okay, I got it.
Yeah. It's going to happen someday.
So my point is, I hope this thing is truly out by the month, because it sounds like people are going to need this. And hey, if it does well, I got great ideas for you, brother. I'd love to throw them your way. Not as to become popular, not to make money, but to really, if it's the next person in line to help out, God, so be it. Whatever it may be. So what is the name of the app?
Yeah, the name is Clarity Vision, and you can go to clarityvisionapp.com to learn more and join the wait list there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me where people can find you. Let's start with you, Brett.
Yeah, you can find me at Brett Raio, BRETTRAIO, on all social media, pretty much, except for Facebook. They banned me for life, but same kind of thing.
Okay.
Where they're like, take your words out of context. I know I didn't explain the other thing earlier, but
please. I just there's a video. Someone sent me a video. They're like, don't listen to what the haters say. And they sent me a video of some banana talking about how I had a meltdown and a reawaken. I'm like, what are you meltdown? What are you?
Yeah.
But that's just whatever.
I mean, the devil's gonna try to find, whatever he can find, and it's like people take things out of context. They take, you're making a metaphor, they'll twist it. Like they do this stuff to Jesus too. They're gonna do it to us.
It's a flea. It's a little flea.
Yeah.
And where can we find Charlie Carbone? Which, by the way, when I'm back at Jersey, we got to go to dinner or something. We got
no
doubt. Where can we find Charlie Carbone?
So I'm on. And see, I never did any of this social media stuff. So
this is what I love about you, Charlie. You went from transportation, like I'm driving to see some kid, and now I'm like, I got music, bro. When I saw your video, people got to watch this video. You got to watch your videos. You got me. I watched that last one you did. What was the one? And then you added my name in it. You added Roseanne Barr's name in it.
That was that we just did. The main video was the Great Awakening. I sent you
The Great Awakening.
the Great Awakening like months ago, and
Yes!
we had a brief conversation. If you don't remember,
Yes, now I remember because I'm telling you, that's when I first saw you. I'm like, and then when I
Yeah.
was like, listen, this is why I needed this new studio. This is why I need a producer because I'll see it and I'll get hopped up. But I'm like, okay, we got to get this guy and I want to talk to him. But I'm like, oh my God, Margot, find him. Margot.
That's so funny.
I just hired Margot 2 weeks. I'm like, Margot, get this person. Margot. Oh yeah, I'm getting to have great conversations and great moments like meeting the two of you. Are we going to
Margot's
see you? Are we going to see you? Are you popping by any event?
Yeah,
Clay
yeah,
said you
October
might come to a
14th.
reawaken.
Yeah, we're coming October 14th to Miami.
Oh shoot, I think I can't make that one. October 14th.
Oh man.
Hold on. October 14th.
You're in
Rearrange-
Deltona.
I'm in Deltona. Ah! Okay. That's
Maybe
right.
in December, you know.
We'll figure it out. Oh, December, California.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, listen. Either way,
Yeah.
we'll catch up, you guys. I even called my agent. I'm like, let's do a show. You got me so jacked up when I watched your video, the Reawaken. What is it called?
Great Awakening.
The Great
Great
Awakening. I got so jacked up watching this on such a powerful way. I call my agent like, I want to do a show with these guys, and then we got Rosa. Like, we gotta kill. Why can't we? This would be amazing. I don't know if it's one night. It was amazing. So you touched me, and I hope it touches a lot of others. So, Charlie, Brett, what a pleasure. Thank you so much for blessing me to come on here today. Let's keep in touch. And I can't thank you both enough. And I love your vision. I love your stories. Love your stories. And hopefully it touches a lot of lives. You guys are amazing.
Man.
Thank you. I'm on Instagram at Charlie Carbone KC. That's what I'm on Instagram at.
Sounds amazing. I'll see you there.
God bless you in Jesus'
God bless,
name. Thank you,
brother.
brother.
You as well. Take care, you guys.
Man, see it.
That was there's a lot of stories like this that started right around the pandemic. And you can't deny it. You can hate it, you can love it, but the raw fact is you can't deny it. And this is a man, when I look at guys like Charlie, he overcame you know how many people that are enslaved? And when I say enslaved, he was, one more year, I get my extra money. I have a brother, he worked for the state, and all right, in 2 more years, I get my pension. And all these goals are enslavement. Money. One nation under God, in God we trust. Whose God are they talking about? The people that make money, the people that create the banking system. Is their God the devil? Because it seems that way. It seems that way. And maybe it's time we start recognizing it for what it truly is. That's up to you to look into and find out. I love stories like these, and there's millions, and what you need to know when it comes to people like Charlie, and Brett, when there's a deep calling inside you, don't ignore it, especially when it's powerful, beautiful, and comes from a spiritual place. It's powerful. And the minute that you discover how beautiful and powerful, let me overexamine, powerful, a good power, you start to realize how many people understand that and are connected for it, and how our whole society is created to make a delusional and confusion lifestyle to not allow you to tap into that. And when you do, and they trust me, they don't want to. This is why you're entertained 24/7. It's why your mind is consumed 24/7. 24/7. Your phone, your computer, school, sit down for 8 hours a day, go there until you're X and then go to college and then do this. You're consumed 24/7. Doesn't give your time, doesn't give your spirit 1 second to grow. Doesn't allow your mind and your spirit to connect, to see things what they're truly worth. Charlie saw things for what it was truly worth. I see things for what it's truly worth. Hopefully you do too. Thanks for hanging out in the Breuniverse, and we'll see you out on the road with some stand-up dates. And I want to thank my guests for coming on today. Thank you, Mike. All the best to all of you. See you next time on the Breuniverse.
Take a look around and what do you see? Lock the date down tonight, we're making history.
Hey, this is Jim Breuer, and I got my own Patreon page, and hopefully you'll check it out. Live comedy concert streamed once a month. Weekly, you host your own podcast, and you interview me. Early access to the Breuniverse podcast every single week, and have bonus footage and bonus segments. I promise you I'm not going to let you down. Go check out my official Jim Breuer Patreon page, and I'll see you there.